Hello. So, a few weeks ago, maybe more than a few weeks ago, because time passes so quickly when I'm isolating myself and keeping myself out of the world, um, I had asked God to show me the condition of my heart. And I think there may be a series of videos coming regarding the condition of the heart and the condition of my heart, because I am not a preacher and not a biblical theologian. I just feel as if, sharing what is happening to me and what God's working through me in a way to, I don't know, help other people, speak to other people. So I'd asked him to show me the condition of my heart. And shortly after that, I heard a verse that a lot of us have heard and probably has been quoted a million times, and I've seen it all over social media in different memes and different things, and that is, where your treasure is, your heart will be also. And, honestly, I never really thought about that very much, that verse. I've heard it many times. I've seen it on little plaques for sale at Hobby Lobby. I've seen it on people's refrigerators. I've seen it on t-shirts. I've seen it everywhere. But I never really thought about it much because I was like, oh yes, of course, whatever you treasure or love, that's where your heart will be. But then picking that apart a little bit, I had to think, what is treasure? And what is that verse speaking to me right now? And of course I thought that verse was in Proverbs because it sounds like a proverb, but it's in Matthew. And I'm sure other themes of it are repeated in the Bible in different places. So, where your treasure is, your heart will be also. What's treasure? Money, time, attention. That's what treasure is to me. And I had to sit and think, when I have extra money, after all of our needs are provided and our bills are paid and our food is purchased and our gas tanks are filled and we have everything we need to survive in our very spoiled and convenient society, way beyond what we actually need to survive, but what we think we need to survive and what our culture tells us we need to survive. That's a whole other topic. I didn't need to say all that, but when I have extra money, extra time, well, extra money, let's focus on that first. What do I do with it? And I kind of, had a little bit of an argument with God because just for a second, because say what you want about giving money to churches, but I have, I'm not bragging. I hate to even say this out loud, but I'm a tither. If I belong to a church congregation, I'm a tither. And tithing is something I have done, and that's a conviction I hold. And the people that I give my money to in a church setting are responsible for how they steward it, because it is not my money, it is God. It was provided to me, and I do with it as He asks me to. So I am now part of two churches. A regular church, a regular four walls church congregation that most people would consider, a church. And then, of course, the little house church that I've been attending. And I kind of came up into a little bit of a dilemma because I'm like, which one do I tithe to? So I prayed about it. Both. Okay. And of course, I trust God with my finances, but at the same time, it was like, how am I going to do that? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it, because where your treasure is, your heart will be also. And that gives me less money to do with the money, what I normally do with extra money, which is, and I'm really sorry about the light. I thought this was a good spot. Let's see if we can. You're going to get my speckled face today, I guess. Oh well, I'm not looking at the camera very much. I didn't realize it was quite as speckled as it is. Oh well, hopefully it doesn't distort anything. So, where was my treasure going? My treasure was going to things like this, things like this, things like this. When I had extra money, I was spending it on my physical appearance. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but if I can't take my extra treasure and put it into things that would bless other people because I feel the need to boost up my external appearance, which has really been under attack lately, my view of my external appearance, probably, coincidentally, or maybe not. That's where a lot of my heart was. So then I was like thinking down the list, and in this modern age where we have online everything, and like I have online banking, or you can look at your monthly bank statement if you're a person that does banking, and you can see where your treasure goes. Are you spending all of your extra money on food? Going out to eat, doing this, doing that? Are you spending it on video games, entertainment, that kind of thing, And nothing wrong with any of that. I mean, we can do things, food is not good or bad, but is it something that's taking away from what God would want you to do with that money? Am I making an idol out of what I look like and how I appear to the rest of the world and spending all of my treasure that could be used for blessing other people on this, only to then feel bad about it later, about what this looks like, Yeah. The other bits of treasure that came to my mind would be attention and time. When I have extra time, what am I doing with it? Am I using it to watch videos on how to more aptly apply my eyeshadow? Or am I spending time with God, reading my Bible, in prayer, just walking, listening, worshiping, trying to listen for Him? Or am I spending that time loving other people and sharing what God has given me as gifts with other people? Or am I feeding back to where my heart is, or my heart was, and that is boosting my external appearance for other people so that I can feel good about myself and build up my sparkly, glittery armor? Oof. So, yeah, and then, your time. How do you spend your extra time? What do you put your attention on when you have extra time? Because not everyone is in a situation where they have extra money. That treasure may be absolutely a treasure and they need it to survive. But attention and time, that we do all have. So that's kind of what God has been speaking to me lately about. Part of what He's been speaking to me about the condition of my heart. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, that where your treasure is, your heart will be also. And as much as I can say, my heart is with God and my heart is with my family, there was definitely some other things that were vying for attention that need to be put aside. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice, but when I'm spending all my time, attention, and money on trying to look nice and having it be a hill I was willing to die on, at the expense of my self-esteem. It's time to let some of that go for a little bit and stop buying things for myself that I don't need and that are just going to collect dust, and maybe give some things away, which I've always done. I have a kind of strange habit, and maybe it's not strange to other people, or to most people, but it is strange to some, that if someone compliments something, I will very often just hand it to them because I have excess and I don't need that excess. So oh, I'm in a good place, guys. I'm in a good place. Thank you for listening. Live and love out of the way you were created.